20 years after Dona Vitae was written, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith introduced Dignitatis Personae. Because of all the new biomedical technologies, new questions have arisen concerning human embryos, stem cells, and other experimental medicine. Dignitatis Personae means the dignity of the person. In both documents, it is mentioned that life starts at conception, and therefore, the dignity of the person should be recognized from conception to death. The origin of human life comes from the context of marriage and love between a man and a woman. This is known as the conjugal act. Everyone deserves to be loved in himself, independently of everything, including intelligence, beauty, health, youth, integrity, etc. Human life is a sign of God's presence. Because of the increase of infertility, new treatments emerge, but they must respect three fundamental goods: the right to life of every human from conception to natural death, the unity of marriage, and the procreation act between spouses. Because of these fundamentals, heterologous artificial fertilization is not allowed. It is the substitute for the conjugal act, since it comes from a donor sperm. Homologous artificial fertilization is also not allowed, although it is using the spouse's sperm. Although there are a lot of treatments for infertility, adoption is still highly recommended and encouraged as a solution for infertile couples so that many children may receive a home that will contribute to their human development. The term in vitro means outside the body, so in an in vitro fertilization, there is no conjugal act. The process of in vitro fertilization often involves deliberate destruction of embryos. Techniques of the procedure treat the human embryo as if it is just a mass of cells to be used and discarded. Some embryos that have defects are also killed off. A type of in vitro fertilization is called intracytoplasmic sperm injection, also known as ICSI. During this procedure, the sperm is injected with the egg medically. This puts the embryo under the control of doctors, which establishes the domination of technology of the destiny and origin of the human person. When oocytes are collected, some are kept frozen just in case. The freezing of the egg is disrespectful to the human embryos. There are also many risks that come with it. A high percentage of oocytes do not survive the freezing and thawing process. When they do survive, they just become orphans. There are thousands of orphans around the world. The question is what to do with them now. Research is out of the question, and giving the eggs to infertile couples is not ethically acceptable, as well as surrogacy. The most obvious solution to this problem is to not take human embryos. Embryo reduction, the process of exterminating the embryo or fetus while in the womb, was introduced to eliminate the extra embryo during a multiple pregnancy. This is a form of intentional selective abortion. A type of prenatal diagnosis called preimplantation diagnosis consists of eliminating any embryos suspected of having genetic or chromosomal defects, not having the gender wanted, or having any other unwanted qualities. Cloning is intrinsically illicit because it seeks to produce a new human being without the self-giving act between spouses. There's also no link to sexuality, which would then lead to a disrespect of the human dignity. Cloning has two basic purposes: research or medical therapy, and reproduction. Cloning to reproduce predetermines the genetic identity of the person. This is wrong because the originality of every person comes from God. It also interferes with the equality of all people. Stem cells have two basic characteristics. They multiply themselves and they produce transitory progenitor cells, which are nerve, muscle, and blood cells. When they are transplanted into damaged tissue, they promote cell growth and regeneration of the tissue. Stem cells usually come from embryos, fetuses, umbilical blood, and amniotic fluid. Stem cells taken without causing harm to the subject are illicit. Obtaining stem cells from an embryo will kill it, and is consequently gravely illicit. The use of adult stem cells is encouraged and supported.